Hey, so we're meal prepping today. The first thing I want to do is cut these zucchinis, and I'm going to put them in here. So we're going to be making a few things. Actually, something that you should know about me is I don't like reheating my carbs. So when I say my carbs, I'm talking about my rice, basically like rice and pasta. When it comes to potatoes, I don't mind reheating potatoes because I could just put those in the air fryer and it doesn't like have a weird, like, I guess, reheat taste. I don't know how to explain. I'm kind of a weirdo. So today I'll only be like focusing on like getting my veggies prep, and then I'll also be prepping my meat. For the carbs for the week, I'll cook that the time that I'll be eating. I hope that makes sense. So right now, you could cut the zucchinis however you want, and you could season them however you want as well. I'm just planning to saute these zucchinis. Zucchinis are really good. I'm trying to lose weight, so the zucchinis, eggplants, stuff like that are really good to lose weight. I don't give them much thought on how I cut them because it's gonna go in my belly either way. So if you're particular on how you cut your zucchinis, feel free to cut them the way that you want. But I'm just cutting them as you see me doing them now. I'm so proud of myself. So far I've lost 10 pounds. So that's exciting. And I'm gonna cut all of the zucchinis because I want to make sure that all of them is cooked. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload this video unedited, like just raw as it is, and then maybe what I'll do is I'll edit some for like shorts. But for right now, I'm just gonna upload it as is, since that's what this channel is all about, raw unedited content. Because I don't have 50 subscribers right now, I'm not able to like do live. Ideally, I want to be able to hit that 50 subscriber number, and then what I'll do is I'll start going live with my meal prep days instead of having to record and then upload. That's my goal, because I don't know if anyone's actually going to watch such a long video, since meal prepping does take a long time. I doubt that anyone's going to actually watch the entire thing. But if anyone does, then I'm extremely grateful for your time that you took to watch it. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here, and thank you for subscribing. Let me know in the comments what your health goals are, and why you're looking forward to this meal prep today. So everything that I make today, you could decide what carb you want to pair it with. So whether that be rice, potatoes, cassava, whatever carbs you really like, it's up to you. Just make sure that you're portioning. I actually have a scale, a food scale, and I've been tracking my calories that way. And I'm trying to get a little bit more strict with myself, because it is important to track your calories to ensure that you hit whatever goals, macro goals that you have for the day. I'm new to this weight thing. I'm in no way a nutritionist or anything. I'm actually using Claude to help me with coming up with better. I'm using Claude basically as my nutritionist and also as my my fitness trainer. I know that sounds kind of silly, but hey, it's what I can afford. It's free and it's what works for me. So if you haven't tried it yet, I definitely recommend trying it to see how Claude can help you with whatever fitness goals that you have. But yeah. So remember, you want to wash your veggies always. So this is all the zucchini that I'll be cooking for the week. I know that's a lot. I'll also be cutting up some green bell peppers. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna cut up some real, wash these bell peppers. And I also bought some already pre-cut carrot sticks I'll also be sauteing. And I'll also be cutting up some, what are these things called? Bok chow. So I'm gonna wash all of these things and then we're gonna cut them. So BRB. The next thing I want to cut up are these. So this is going to sound weird as well, but I also don't like reheating my onions. So anytime I make anything that has onions, I normally, when I'm reheating it, that's when I cook the onions. So I'll actually be cutting these, and then whatever I eat, when I eat something, I'll cut the onions fresh and then reheat the food with the onions that way. I know it's a bit weird, but that's just how I work. I don't cut these small, I cut them like really big because I use them sometimes for my salad to like have that crunch to it instead of using croutons. And then sometimes I also just like cook it. For the ones that I cook, those are the ones that I'll cut smaller, but for the ones that I'm using for my salad, I'm gonna cut those small. I'm gonna put them in the fridge as is. So for the salad ones, they're gonna be big like this. And then I'm just gonna put them in this little container. We use reduce recycle, that's what I do. So this is all gonna be for my salad. Instead of using croutons to have that crunch to it, I use these. And you could put some salt and pepper on there if you want, if you don't use salad dressing. But I'm just gonna leave it as it is for now. And then this other bell pepper is what I'm gonna use for like when I cook. So for these ones, I'm gonna cut it just a little bit smaller than I cut the ones for my salad. And like I said, you could cut your veggies any way that you want. My little sister, she can cut veggies like she's a chef, like like a pro chef. Me, I'm a bit lazy, so I just cut them like normally. But she cuts them like very small. My mom, she has a cooking business, so I think that's part of the reason why my little sister is able to cut so well. My mom started her cooking business after I left, so I didn't learn those skill sets that she learned, you know, those cutting skill sets. So for this is going to basically be, and you're probably like, man, you're dirtying up a lot of dishes. I know, but thankfully I have a dishwasher. I'm not like washing these with my hand. I hate the days when I used to wash with my hands. Ugh, that was the worst. Now the next thing I'm gonna cut up is going to be the bok chow. So these are Chinese bok chow. You actually don't have to cut them. If you want, you could just cut the end of it and then just saute it as it is. So for me, however, I'm going to do a mixture of both because I plan on doing it two different ways. So for some of them, I will leave it as it is, and I'm gonna put it in the plate that I'm gonna save it in later. So literally just cutting this part here. You could also eat this part, or if you want, you could use it to boil it to make soup stock later. Look how pretty it is. So I'm gonna use it later for soup. And then I'm only gonna use 2 of them. I'm only gonna chop up 2 of them really short. Oh, not really short, really small. Because these ones I'm gonna be using for something else. So this is how I'm gonna cut up these ones. All the other ones I'll just eat like this. So I'm gonna put this at the very bottom since I'll do that last. Alrighty. The next thing we're going to do is we're gonna I'm also going to be making some bean sprouts. This is really good fiber. You just wash it, boil it, and then I'll show you how you make it later. I'm gonna make it 2 different ways, so because I don't like eating the same thing over and over again. So wash it now. So for the carrots, I'm gonna do a mixture of some sauteed and some raw. I have a lot of jars that I got with like other things and I just reuse them. So we're gonna have the carrots on the side. I also don't like reheating carrots because it gets like really mushy and I don't like mushy carrots. So what I do is I just put it in the jar, and when I'm gonna saute, like for example, let's say that I'm eating this and I want it with carrots, I just throw some in there, and I saute it then because I don't like mine's too soggy. Some other things we're going to be making is enoki mushrooms. This, however, is the last thing I'm going to make because this is going to be for the soup I have later. I'm going to make some pho, and I love me some enoki mushrooms. As you can see, it's very dirty, so you want to make sure that you cut off that part. If you're not a meat eater, this is a very good alternative for meat. Highly recommend. It's very yummy. And it has like that same texture that meat has. I don't know how to explain it. So I'm most likely not gonna eat all of the mushrooms today. So I'll just have some for the soup the pho I'm making later, and then some I'll just put it in the fridge like that, and I'll reheat it because I don't like my things too soggy again. This is snow white mushrooms. This is actually gonna be the first time I ever tried these mushrooms before. I've never had these mushrooms before, but I said I wanted to try something new, so decided to get these. And we need something to put them in. And I might just actually eat all of these today since it's not too much. So I'm gonna put all the mushrooms together in one container and then clean. Okay, so the other thing